Hello again and welcome to Dark Crib's tutorial on the Vampire Reborning. From the last video, if you haven't seen it, that's part 1. I showed all the flesh tones and the veining that I've started to do. So that's that. I did all the blue, the flesh tones and the blue and some of the veining I showed on the head. I don't know if you can see. You can see the blues anyway, how it's starting to define. So now I've got the belly plate. I've done about 4 layers of the flesh tone on that. So I'm going to do the rest of the blue mottling. Show you that process. So that's my mottling sponge. If you didn't see the last video, you just normal sponge. I tend to get latex free because I do silicone as well. Latex free I'd always recommend on anything, just in case it does react with anything else on the vinyl. I don't think it would, but like I say, because I do silicone as well, silicone painting, I get the latex free. So there, a bit of blue. Start on the sides just to make sure it's not too dark. I go all around, everywhere. You know, on bellies and chests you always see the more blue detailing anyway. So you can see I've just done, you can see it's giving it a bit of depth. I'll just let that dry and see how that colour turns out. It's looking like it's a bit too light, but we'll find out in a minute. I can always darken it up. So I'm going to carry on with some of this veining on here. So I'll just show you how, just wiggle the lines like tree branches, describe it as, and just drag the ends out. And dab. So you can see them veins. Like I always say, you can do exactly the same if you're just doing a normal reborn. Obviously just keep the colours more subtle. So come from the eyes, temple, wiggly lines up, and drag the ends out. I do apologise if you can't see it properly, but there, you can just see the veining there. So that's the first stages of the 3D veining that I do. I think I'll put one across the forehead. I do tend to like doing that. So from the eye, eyebrow. Obviously on the vampires you'd expect them to have more veins showing, so I think it's become one of Dark Crib's signatures now that I do, a lot of veining details. So there you see just one across the forehead. Do a few coming down. it off, dab. Again. Can't really see that, can you? I think you can, but yeah. So I think that's enough of the veining. I might do one more down the back of the head. Like I say, you can just do as much as or as little of veining as you like. I like a lot. I like to have a lot of depth to the skin. So there we go. It's really simple, but massive effect. So yeah, the bluing hasn't really come out on the belly, so I'm gonna do it a little bit darker. So all I'd do is just not dab off as much, not squeeze as much out of the sponge. Don't put any more blue in. Just soft dabbing. Just all over. Okay, hopefully that won't be as light now. Just have to watch out for any hairs that are going on, because if you are selling these, you will get customers that will scrupulously go through them with a fine tooth comb to check for anything that they can get a discount on. Unfortunately, I've had that experience, but hey ho. Right, I'll just do a bit of blue where I think there'd be more blues than others, and again just dab a bit everything off. So it just starts to highlight as well where everything is. Around the belly button, I'd find that would be more blue. So like I said in the last one, if you've not watched it, use a Q-tip, just dabbing off. So yeah, just emphasises. Like I say, this blue is an undertone. So it's really just to give it a bit of depth. So there, we can see the blue undertone as well, that's coming out more. Okay, might look a bit too blue to you at the minute, but don't be disheartened, because there's it's obviously the first layers of the undertones, so we'll be going over them with think on this one there'll be some purples, yellows, and obviously the reds. So that's that one. Right, it's all decisions what the next step is. I think I'm going to do the purple. You can bake, obviously in between each layer. I mostly don't. But you know, it's entirely up to you. It depends what the next step is that you're doing, I suppose. What happens. See, look at all. I need some new brushes, I think. Definitely need some new paintbrushes. Where's my... Okay. Right, so I find my purple. Got my purple mottling sponge there. I always have all my paints all done up already in the jars. It's just easier because I know that I use the same tones on every creation, so no point in keep having to mix up every single time. So I like to get the colour that I like first, so I've always got it there. So yeah, these are another undertone which I do. It just stands out a bit more. Dab it off. Again, I'll start on the back of the head, making sure it's not too dark. As soon as I'm happy with that, I'll go in and do it all. I don't do as much of the purple as I did the blue. I just spread that out a bit more. You can't really see it, but you know it's there. You can see the wetness shining. It's really subtle. Like I say, it just gives the depth of the skin tones. Just making sure that all this is really stirred up, because it does settle to the bottom. Okay, dab that off a bit. Bit more on the belly, obviously. The belly and the chest area, you always seem to see more of the undertones. So straight onto the legs. You see it's really building up the effect now of the depth of the skin. Again, if there's too much colour build up, you can just get a clean sponge, if I've got a clean sponge, and just dab out anything off where it looks to be too much colour build. I mean, on some of the very first creations, when I was just setting out, just learning, I'd only do a blue tone and then straight on with the reds over the top, which it still, you know, it still looked effective. But as I've gone on and I've like been experimenting with things, it looks a lot better when you build up different layers of colours. I think the yellow one is very much effective. I tend to put that on near to the end of the process. I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me alright. I tend to go quite low, quite quiet when I'm talking, I'm sorry, when I'm concentrating. If you've already seen the Facebook page, you notice I do some giveaways every now and then. If you want to go and give the page a like, it's Dark Cribs Creations. My last giveaway was actually one of my silicone creations, so it's worth keeping an eye on the page to see what I come up with next. Oops. So I'm nearly finished these undertones and I think I'll bake this layer to see if any of that needs building up. So you can see all the build up of the different, it's like, I don't know what you call them. I know they're like your veins, aren't they? Something beginning with C. I don't know. Them underneath your skin anyway. You know what I mean. Right, so now that's dried, I don't know if you can see, it's giving it much more of a depth. You can't really see, can you? I hope you can see it, but you can see all the different, I'm just going to stay veins, all the little veiny things. So, oh, I haven't done the veins on this, have I? Right, so I'll do some veining on this belly, and then I'll just bake them. Right, so figure out where you're going to go with the vein. There's you normally see one right down the middle of the chest, so I'll do that. Again, drag it out. And then just pounce that to blend it in. There, you see the vein. Again, do as many or as little as you want of the veins. I might just do one. Down there. You just keep rubbing it like so, you'll see it just start blending in. You don't want it too prominent. So there, I might just stick like that with the vein. I'm going to drag that one a bit further up so it's going towards the neck, like so. Okay, so I'll leave that as it is. Got a good few veins there. I think I'll do one just down the bottom, coming down here. So there we go. Now we've got the veining, the blue mottling, purple mottling. Like I say, if you've only just come in halfway through the video, which you might have done, these are vampire creations. It's the veining and everything are all more emphasised. You start seeing the effect of what she'll be like. So she's starting to come to life a bit. So I'm going to bake these. I've done all the purple. Yeah, all the purple's done into it. So I'll bake these, like I say, I bake them on 250 for around about 4 or 5 minutes, 250 degrees. Halogen. Make sure they're not touching. Because it can affect the paint if they cure. I keep saying cure because of the silicone. When they're drying together, it could affect the paint. So whilst they're doing, I'll just check that I've got all the details that I'm wanting on these. So you can see all on the legs now that the purple's dried as well. You can see the depth of the colour coming. Looking a bit more lifelike. I hope you can see it on that video. It looks like you can to me. On there, you can just see. Like I say, some people don't like the veining, and they'll just do pale skin tones. I'm just going to do a bit more purple on these front of the arms. Always make sure your paint's mixed up. I can't emphasise that enough. Yeah, I use the Genesis heat set paints. You can use the air dry paints if you've not got a halogen. I've never actually tried the air dry paints, so I couldn't say whether they're okay to use or not. Some people in the alternative Reborn community will use acrylic paints to get the really bright colours. They'll do the Day of the Dead, like this, like my tattoo. They'll do these in really bright, vibrant colours, and it looks really nice. I might give that a go at some point, I don't know. So yeah, I'm still just, that's the beauty of this, you can just build it up, always keep your colours subtle first so you can build them up. Last thing you want to do is going straight in with a really dark colour and then it just ruins it. So yeah, I can't stress that enough. Start really light and then you can build them up then. So next stages that I'll be doing is the reds. As soon as the reds go on, you can see what a difference it makes. I'm gonna do, I haven't got my yellow tone. Sorry. I didn't think I'd gone that close to the camera. Right, I'm gonna do a yellow tone. If I can find my, wherever it is. Where's that gone? See, I use it for to colour the fangs as well. So it could literally be anywhere. Where have I put it? Why ain't it back in my box, Claire? Ah, that's what I do, put it in with the brushes. Right, so in with your thinners. Which ones are these? These are a low order thinner that I get from my usual supplier at Tinkerbell Creations. So put some of that in. I need more brushes. Where's all the brushes? See, the ones that I've got left there, they lose too much. They lose too many bristles, the old ones. Looks like that one is as well. Ugh, well, it's all come off now, look at that. Don't buy cheap brushes, people. Right, I'll get that one chucked. What did I use that one for? The purple. Right, I'm just going to clean this one off. Never have too many brushes because I do the silicone as well. All these are actually just cleaning from the silicone, so right, that looks to be done. So just gradual again, a little bit at a time, just building it up. The yellow tones really do add a lot of effect to them. It's if I just start that off, it gives it a really good depth to the skin. The effect of it, it's I think the first time I used it, it was like, wow, why did I not do this before? Right, so that's them all baked. Oh, just watch you don't burn your hands like I just did. And get these in. Now when you start putting the red tones, it really adds some effect. It just gives it that boost of realism. Right, so they're baked. So now obviously the paints won't rub off. You can always test if you put a little bit of colour or something on the bottom of the neck. You can always test then to see if it's actually cured. Okay, yellow. I think I'll go in with the yellow first. Look at me. Just keep having brain farts all the time. Have I got any sponges? That's the question. And I think I've lost my tweezers. Probably in here. These are all my silicone sculpting tools. They're probably all at the bottom of here somewhere. Can't see them. Could use my clampers. See if my clampers work. Oh, my clampers work. Look at that. It's just to get that like the circle of capillaries. That's it, capillaries. The effect of the capillaries. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that name were, weren't I? For the effect that it gives. The capillaries. There we go. So right, that's worked enough for me to go in with this yellow, I'd say. And you don't want it looking like it's got jaundice, but I think that's a bit too light. Yeah, that's a bit too light, so I'll just add a bit more colour in. Wherever put that now? Oh dear. If you've got any questions, just comment down below and I'll answer them. We've got Halloween coming up actually. If you want to suggest anything that I could do. I know I tend to just stick to vampires, but I'll give anything a go if I can. I'm liking the look of these Pennywise clowns that people are doing. I've always wanted to have a go at doing an Exorcist Regan. That'd be cool. What do you think? Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe as well, so that you don't miss out on anything. I think this one at minute it's started to look like looks a bit like that. You could do a pinhead from Hellraiser. How blue it is. Right, just wherever you want some yellow to be. Like I say, you don't want the yellow all over, you don't want it looking a bit jaundicey. But there you go, you can see the yellow tones there. Some people tend to stick doing the same colours on every baby. They put them in the same place, the veins go in the same place. I tend to just go with the flow and go wild. I think that's the best thing about the alternatives. You can just go wild with them. You don't have to be careful of the blues, the purples, whereas on the normal babies they're you have to make sure they're staying subtle and you're not going too too dark in places and that, because you want them to look as realistic as possible, don't you? So I find it boring. I love the alternative ones. Right, so what I'm going to do, you've seen the rest of the veining, you've seen the belly plate. So like I say, this'll, I know the blue looks a bit blue now, but you watch the next videos, I'm going to go into the reds. My son wants something to eat, so I'm going to stop the video for a minute and come back to it. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to the video if you want to see some more of the creations. There's already, I've shown how I've made the silicone trolls. This is one of the heads there, what I've done. They were quite fun to make, so I've sculpted, moulded, cast all of these. So yeah, all the videos of how I did that are all on. I think the sculpting process is just pictures, step-by-step pictures, but you get the feel of it if you want to go back and have a look at them. So yeah, if you've liked my tutorial so far, please give us a thumbs up. Share it if you want, if you think it'll help anybody, and I'll be back on the next video. Bye!